Oh my goodness, almost flew right off the table there. This spinny chair sure does roll fast. Well, I'm glad I made it. I didn't fly too far and hit the wall. You know, I was flying across pretty quickly because there wasn't a whole lot of friction on the floor. Wheels can spin and that reduces friction, but I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. Maybe we should learn what friction is. My name is John Henri and I love doing science and I love learning new stuff too. Today, we're gonna learn all about friction. Let's get started. So you want to learn about friction, huh? Well, let's do an experiment. I love experiments because experiments can teach us so much. You ready? Follow along with me. You're going to take your two hands and get them really close, put them together, all right? Then I want you to try rubbing your hands back and forth as fast as you can. Faster, faster, faster. Whoa, my hands are starting to heat up quite a bit. All right, so now our second part of the experiment, I want you to take your hands, put them really close together, but don't let them touch. You want to get them so they're so close, but they're not touching. And now, go back and forth. Can you go faster than before? Whoa! We can move so fast because there's no friction. Friction is a force when two objects move against each other. It's created in that space where those two objects are touching. And so we created friction with our hands when we rubbed them together, but we didn't create any friction when our hands weren't touching. You know, I've got another cool experiment. Maybe you could try this out with me as well. You're going to need some books for this one. Now, this experiment works really well with phone books, but if you don't have a phone book, that's okay. Any kind of book that is bendable, that has a paperback, that'll work out just fine. All right, so today we're using the Bird Guide in North America. Let's grab two of these books, okay? And you're going to open up the book about halfway. All right, open up this book about halfway. You're gonna stick them together, fold them, just like that. All right, now we're gonna try to pull them apart. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Well, that was easy. That's because there wasn't a lot of friction caused when those pages were against each other. But check this out. I did this with two others, and what I did was I put each page on top of the other. So you can see here, every single page is connected to the next page and so on and so forth. So if you want to try this at home, just take your two books and just put the pages together just like this. Now it might take a little while for you to do it. That's why I've already done it. So go ahead and pause this, go do it yourself, and when you got your books together, come on back. All right, you done? All right, so now that we have our books together, what we're going to try to do is try to pull them apart. You ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Oh my goodness, I can't get it apart. Oh, Mers. Oh. This is really hard because each page layered on top of the other is dragging across themselves, and that creates friction. I think it's time to try another experiment. Okay, for this one, you can grab some toy cars. And you can use any kind of toy car, anything with wheels, really. So we're going to try some experiments where we increase and reduce the friction that these cars are traveling over. As a car drives along, the wheels turn, and there's not very much friction. But that can change depending on what kind of material the car is driving on. We're going to set up a little thing right here. So I have some giant foam Legos, and these have a little bit of a ridge on top. All right, so let's set up a small ramp. I'm gonna make a ramp out of some blocks here. All right, and then I'll make a little ramp down with these three. Alrighty. So we're gonna try to see what happens with different types of materials as the car travels down. Let's start with some paper. This is just plain old paper. We're gonna put that right underneath. All right, you ready? Let's see how far it goes. Whoa, went right off the edge. So obviously it can travel pretty far. Seems like there's not a whole lot of friction there. If I take it off and just use the foam blocks, let's see about this. Whoa, it stopped pretty quickly. Wait a minute, let's try that again. Yeah, it seems that between the bumps and the styrofoam material that these blocks are made out of, that there's a lot more friction. Let's try another one. I have a little rag right here. I'm just gonna put that rag right there. All right, let's see about this. Okay, so it seems like it went a little farther, but stopped pretty quickly once it went that way. Let's try it one more time. This rag has a lot more friction than the paper did. There's a lot more surface area and a lot more stuff for the wheels to come in contact with. Okay, for our last material, I'm gonna take this tray of actual sand. We're just gonna put that right up there, lay our ramp on top of the sand. Let's see what happens. You ready? Here we go. Ooh, that didn't go very far at all. Let's try it again. Man, it seems that the sand not only has a lot of friction, but it also is able to move a little bit more than our others. So what if I just try driving it across the sand? It doesn't drive very far. That friction of all that sand pushing against its lots of little surfaces, pushing against the surface of the car. It seems like this car is having a really hard time moving around on the sand. I love learning about science, and I've learned a lot about friction today. I hope that you can try this stuff out at home as well. Can you think of any examples where we use friction in real life? You know, I love sledding. And if you've ever gone sledding down a snowy hill, it's always faster down the really icy snowy hills. That's one way that the less friction you have, the faster you can go. Another example is what we wear on our feet. If you wear shoes with rubber grips on the bottom, then you have a lot better traction because there's more friction between the rubber of your shoes and the floor. But if all you have are socks on, you can slide right across the floor because you've reduced the friction between your feet and the floor. You know, that reminds me, I gotta go home and polish my floor. I've got a sock skating competition coming up and I gotta go practice. Well, thanks for doing science with me today. I hope you've had fun. Tune in again soon to learn more about science with me, John Henri. We'll see you next time. Whoa!